Welcome back to E-Magazine. Now, if you're just joining us today on E-Magazine, we're looking at how one can create a mark in the Swahili telenovela space. And with me in studios is the one and only James Kahindi. Now, thank you once again for joining me. Now, before we took a commercial break, obviously just looked at where the Swahili telenovela space is today. And now that it's growing, there's so many series out there. You know, there are a number of things we could watch and relate to. You can actually not just count on. There are many of them. Now, having been in that space for quite a while now, what would you say is one of the main things someone who's trying to enter into this space, produce and create, Swahili TV series? What are some of the things they need to consider and know in order to stay afloat in this space? Because it's becoming quite competitive now.
Yes, it is. It's a cliche for filmmakers when I say you have to be unique, but you honestly have to be unique. One of the things, there was a writer who said something that was so profound for me, and he said, write a story that is so unique that if someone was to steal it, they still have to come and shoot it in Kenya. You know, so that kind of authentic Kenyan story is what you should look for first. And then, of course, now the way you're saying now, everyone is making stories, so then how does yours stand out? And that is where aspects of marketing now might come into play, because you might have to market your program a little bit different from the other person to create a kind of target audience that you want to attract. So those are some of the small little details that might be able to put you ahead of the game. And of course, knowing your budget's full hand. You know, if you are going to shoot a story that involves a lot of computer graphics and things like that, of course, unless you have the budget, then you can go ahead and do it. But you would rather have a simple story that if it's a series, your first season, just make it a bit simple so that you can also get the broadcasters. And when the money comes in later, you can be able to do the big things that you wanted to do. So I think have a unique story, have your marketing properly done to create traction and noise for your program.
Very true.
And then now have your budgets right, because with your budgets, then you'll be able to stay afloat the way you're saying for a longer period, even when the series stops airing.
Yes. And I'm actually quite happy you mentioned marketing, because I feel like there are a lot of Swahili TV series out there, but you can name 2-3 that you heard of. Because your marketing is so good, and especially for an audience like me personally, because Swahili is not my strong fit. Sometimes I can just listen and hit it. So when I get something like a really good marketing TV series for Swahili and I see it, I'm like, wow. Okay. For example, I can name I've seen Selena, Pete I've heard of, but there are a few others I've not heard of. So I feel like that's definitely something people should, have a look. Now, I want to know more about other productions you've worked on.
I've been in many.
Quite a number.
I'm not boasting. But
it's okay.
I've had quite a few documentaries, some series, but currently I'm working on 2. One that is supposed to go at least for the Machawood Festival, God willing, I'm going to get nominated. And again, those are the platforms that are building our performance. And there's another one that is also, we have shot a series and we are in the process of through the funnel of selling it. So one is called Whistleblower and the other one is called Squatter.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll get to look at them. We have trailers for that. But I just wanted to ask you, what's the most tedious part about script writing for Swahili? And how do you even get the right individuals for this? to act out these characters and speak that exact Swahili?
That is where some elements of what you call typecasting comes into play. Because now, of course, we can't get someone from Highlands with a Highland accent to come and do a Swahili play. So we have to find people who are, born and know that language at least, or they can speak it fluently at least. But that does not mean we lock out every other people. Well, because we have diversity. Like we're saying, the story is trying to show the tapestry of our culture. So in as much as it is in the Swahili setting, we try and bring people from outside who will bring different kind of views and ideologies, and which pushes the program. So I think the hardest part about script writing, and any script writer might say, is when you're staring at your computer with no words that you've written yet. That is a big issue. That is one. And 2, getting the idea itself. That is why it's very hard to work alone as a scriptwriter. Like for us, we are working with a team, and I have my very able friend Yusuf Dalu and my other able friend Clifford Okumu, and we are forming that team. We brainstorm together, of course, with our producers' input, Daudi Angoka's producer input, and our creators' input, you know. So it is a whole session before we even sit down to write. It is normally
a whole process.
Yes, a whole process, a month or 3 weeks of brainstorming, of putting down the things, so that by the time you're sitting on your computer, you know what exactly you're supposed to write. So there's a lot.
There's a lot. I don't think you producers and scriptwriters do not joke when they say they're working on a project.
Yes,
it's a serious project.
It's a serious project.
Well, James, let's familiarize ourselves with some of your work. Here's a trailer for Squatter and Whistleblowers. Hawana kwamba well, that there was a trailer for Squatter. Can you just tell me a little bit about that?
Well, the story.
Yes.
Again, in the bid of getting authentic Kenyan stories, Squatter is a story that is set in rural Kenya, and it follows this life of this young boy who comes from a poverty or challenging background, and who they live on this piece of land. But every now and then, there's this rich person who comes and evicts them from the land after every 10 years. So they're in a scenario where they cannot even build permanent shelters and all that. So in the struggle to get that kind of identity, the poor boy falls in love with the rich girl. And there's a whole lot of
It's a Romeo and Juliet situation.
Kind of. I would say a Romeo and Juliet situation, Kenyan based, because this is a story that happens a lot, especially where I come from in Coast. We really have a lot of land issues. Where such scenarios are occurring a lot, and it really affects people. So that was one of the things that motivated me to come up with this story, because I was like, time has come for such issues to be aired.
Be raised again.
Yes. It's not just about the way you're saying, just about love throughout. We can have love, but at the same time addressing a pertinent, serious issue in the society.
Wow, it looks very thrilling. I'll definitely like to watch that.
Hopefully.
Well, thank you so much, James, for joining me on Magazine today. The
It's my
insightful
pleasure.
information you've given us hopefully help another producer, scriptwriter out there who's trying to get into the Swahili telenovela space.
Hopefully.
Thank you once again. Now
you.
we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to jump right into Real Talk and take a look at the movie and series review. Do not go anywhere. You're watching Magazine.